question here. Here's a specific question.
Sure.
Ryan, what is your stance on aquaponics and as a mass distribution effort to feed hungry families?
Great question.
So I
Thank
love
you, Christina. And Christina's friend of the show.
So I love aquaponics. I'm a huge fan and proponent of making sure that we try to use as much of the space that we have available to us to get as much food as possible. With aquaponics, I know we could do a lot more. You get better yields in that way. So that's really, I'm a big fan of that.
Yeah, generally, Christina, potheads are very open people. We're really very open-minded and generally welcoming of ideas that will serve the most amount of people the best way. We're just pretty reasonable people. That's what I think.
Well, basically, yeah.
I mean, how many unreasonable potheads have you met?
Here and there. I would say 1 out of every 40.
That's pretty good.
Pretty good odds.
Pretty good odds.
We're speaking with Ryan Morales, who's candidate for Commissioner of Agriculture in the state of Florida in 2022. Ryan, what would you say, just giving people a brief overview of what the position is, what your responsibilities are?
It's broader than people think.
Mm-hmm. And basically your purview. How would you describe it?
Yeah.
So basically, the way I describe it is the mission of the department is to really safeguard the public, making sure the public is safe, and to support the agricultural economy here in the state of Florida. So twofold. So consumer services is one of the big things that I'm really well equipped for because of my cybersecurity background and my marketing background. I understand the issues that are going on with businesses and how they deal with the consumer services portion of things and staying safe, hackers, people stealing money from registers, all that stuff. Whereas the agricultural portion of thing, even though somebody else, my main opponent is an egg farmer, Mr. Simpson, he still has the same question that every other farmer has. How do I get to market? And that's where I come into play. And that's why farmers love me, because I could help them get to market. My whole goal is to make sure that we get them all to market, because at the end of the day, all they really care about is the bottom dollar, them making money and making sure that they're making money. Right now, they're getting screwed because, they're losing out to the middle guys. The big ag is taking from them, just screwing them out of their money. And we need to start working on having them get the leverage back so they can control the market, not big ag. The small farmers need to be looked out for a little bit more here in the state of Florida. I want to make sure that we push a Florida first agenda when it comes to our agricultural sales, and meaning that I want to make sure that we work with Publix, all the supermarkets, and make sure that they're buying Florida products first before they go overseas or go anywhere else to buy their products, because it makes no sense. We're trying to push all these products because we have over 300 products that we push here in the state of Florida. And if we don't push those products properly, farmers are going to be upset with us. So we need to make sure that we push those products, and just working with our home base Publix, which is a home based here in Florida supermarket. I would imagine that could give most of the farmers here in Florida a great amount of business. So these are things I want to push for. And because I'm also a big part of the hospitality industry, I've been in the hospitality industry for 20 years of my younger life. So I understand that sector as well. And I know I could work with the chefs at all these restaurants and making sure that we get them fresh produce and stuff that they need right from the fields, right from Florida, and really push that fresh from Florida right on your plate type of thing. Because that's all we need to do is just convince people that they just need to buy Florida products.
Yeah.
One of the policies that we've discussed that would probably fall under your purview could be very beneficial, as you just alluded to, with making sure that farmers as well as small business owners get the produce that they need. Having community gardens all throughout the state, frankly, should be in every town, I think would provide tremendous benefit.
Yeah.
Is that something, as Commissioner of Agriculture, that you can put on your plate and really advocate for to make sure
we work on it locally, but it's really hard between gentrification and the city commissions, just not wanting to give up space. It's difficult.
So here's my big thing. I actually want to put on a program that would give people money to help them change their garden or their front lawn to a garden, and really just help people, especially low-income areas, so that way they can grow their own food and share and teach people how to actually be a community again. Like, hey, if I grow eggplants here and you have potatoes over there and this guy has sweet potatoes over there and this person has zucchini, hey, can we all trade off? And that should be the way we should be, doing our community a favor instead of the way it is currently. But yes, I want to put programs together that actually encourage that, because I feel like, in order to stop the runoff and stop all these issues that we're dealing with the killing of the manatees, this is one small step we could take to really alleviate that. And if we could just focus on really just growing our own food and just eating healthier, we might actually stop being so obese. Obesity is a huge problem here in the state of Florida as well. Most people think it's not a problem here. It is. It's a problem. I'm sorry. Lots of the children I'm seeing, they're just really eating a lot of junk food. And then my children are just as bad too with that. And it's hard to get them off of this stuff. But
the processed food and big sugar is a problem. That stuff is toxic poison. And what I've noticed, like when I was a kid, maybe each classroom of 20-something kids, in each class, there was always sort of the chubby kid, right? Like there was the one chubby kid and whatever.
Now it's about 80%. Now it's about 80% of the kids. It sucks.
It's like at least half. Like I walk through my kids' school and half the kids are, to me, not healthy. And it isn't just fat, it's just unhealthy. It's a huge problem. And then you have also in vulnerable communities, food deserts, which contributes hugely to this. And that's something that we see in our poorer communities where you obviously have less quality healthcare, worse health outcomes, and higher issues of like diabetes and all that stuff. You see that in the food desert neighborhoods, and it's not unrelated.
Ricardo, friend of the show, would like to know if you would put in motion policies that protect migrant farm workers, get them better wages, better housing, etc. Good question.
So one of the fun facts would be that if elected, I'd be the first Latino in the position. So protecting migrant workers would be a priority to me, because those are my people. I want to make sure that we take care of these people. They're here for a purpose and they're here to work hard. And there's no reason why we should shun them for any reason. They're amazing people that are working hard to get you your food. And we should be much more grateful to these folks than we are, because we treat them bad and they shouldn't be treated this bad. Again, like I said, farmers need to get a raise. Farmers deserve a raise right now. And it's not just the farm owners, it's the employees and all the people that work in the fields. Everybody needs to get a raise in that sector. And I want to make sure that we focus on that and getting these people the right money for their valuable food and produce.
Very important question that just came to mind. As the Commissioner of Agriculture, do you get a certain amount of budget that is at your disposal as far as any particular projects that you would want to be involved in? Is that something that's in your purview?
I believe so. I believe I get to designate different projects. I know Nikki's one project was getting the LGBTQ department set up, so that's awesome. Honestly, I have two pet projects. One of them was the internet, bringing that over under my watch. The other one is actually the real estate oversight. Somebody needs to really avoid further Surfsides. We need to have somewhere where somebody actually holds people accountable. I've experienced this in the past where I've actually lived in a house that had mold. And my wife at the moment was immune compromised. So I realized what was going on. I noticed she was getting sicker and I freaked out. And when I called the person in charge, they're like, yeah, go ahead. You can't do nothing about it. And I'm like, what do you mean I can't do nothing about it? And lo and behold, he was right. You can't. There's nobody they don't give a flying anything about that, because if you got mold, too bad. So in the state of Florida, I want to make sure that somebody actually holds these people accountable for that. Landlords should be responsible for making sure that they clean up messes like that. People should not have to live in houses that are practically killing them. As well as making sure that, homes are not falling apart. Like I said, we want to avoid any future Surfsides. We want to avoid any future problems like that. I know I have thousands of Floridians that are living in homes that are not really livable, that they've spent all their money on and they can't even get out. So there's a lot of things like that. But the real estate department would be the one that we want to make sure we add.
Thanks for watching. If you want to support our mission to transform politics into service, please like this video, subscribe, follow us on social media, and consider joining our Patreon, where you'll get early access to our interviews as well as other exclusive content. Links are in the description. Peace out.